I unmuted my headset, and I should be talking now. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, Annie. Let's get some, I mean, let's get some ambient silence going. Some nice, tranquil nothingness. VOD watchers at home catching me after the fact. Nothing playing here, certainly no music, certainly nothing involving copyright. Let's see. Got my little bag of tricks here. So I had a thought to do something a little bit more like I think the patient was a great way to finish off my little series of faces that I was doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and try something new with y'all in chat. So here's what I'm gonna do real quick. Let's get a new document going. I'm just gonna do a nice friendly little square. Been doing kind of like my own version of great. Look at this dramatic lighting. Yes, yes. Hugs all around. Anybody who's not feeling great, hope this stream soothes and relaxes you. You're welcome to lurk. No pressure. Oh yeah, let's do it. Spooky. One sec. Get redder. Weep. Boop. Beep. Boop. It makes my hair look like a normal color. Like a chestnut brown in comparison to this vibrant facial glow. Little. Let's see. No, that's just friendly. Anyway, enough messing around with these colores. Alright, so what I would like to do is I'm going to lay out a couple of different families of animals. And I want chat to choose two from each of these. Or one from each of these, with a total of two. Anyway, I'll explain it again once I actually know what the fuck I'm doing. I have an idea that's nebulous, and I'm gonna make it concrete right now. Mammal. Green. Animal. But I'm shortening it to that. Mammal, marine life. Let's just make that official. Insect slash bugus. The us is not written, but it is in our hearts. Bugus. Delicious bugus. Mammal, marine life, insect slash bug. Avian. Boy, I think your brain legit functions at like half capacity when you're trying to entertain. I didn't realize how bad it was until I was like scanning for classifications of creatures. And now I'm just like, cow. What is cow? Cow is mammal. Anyway, mammal, marine life, insect, avian. What else we got? I guess microbe. Microscopic. Let's do microscopic. Right. Microscopic. That. And one more just because it will make me feel better. It'll be nice and even. Reptile. Sure, reptile. Now, I know there's only like two of you here. We'll probably do this again a little bit later, but this is just kind of like testing the water. Choose one of each. Let's do a total of two of these choices. You know, say like mammal and microscopic, right? And put your choices in chat. Reptile dysfunction. This never happens, I swear. I will put a little Nordle on choice number 1. Cool, great, excellent. All right, we got microscope. Oh, I might do that on another layer. We got microscopic. I'm just gonna write tardigrade now. That was gonna be my second stage. And bug, yes, excellent. Okay, perfect. Now, what type of bug y'all want? What type of bug are you thinking? Bumblebee? Oh, oh man, I was gonna do horror. That's so cute. 2 adorable choices. Let's see how I can fuck them up. All right, Bumblebee. All right, so we got our choices. No, no, it's great. This is exactly what we're doing, is just throwing things out there based purely on the vibe. Okay, so I'm gonna group these. I'm gonna make these invisible real quick. Flatten those. So we got, make a new layer real quick. Bumble. Actually, I'll put tardigrade first just because I like the idea of having to prioritize one over the other. So what we're doing today, folks, is some good old-fashioned monster design. And I used to combine animals a lot as sort of a little exercise. Murder bees, yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of reference photos real quick off screen and mail that box to myself. And we'll make a little magic happen. Find a nice little picture of a tardigrade. God, they're so fucking cute. So cute. I absolutely adore tardigrades. I don't know about y'all. They got little claws. They got little baby claws. That's not fair. You see them stepping on a fucking petri dish. Oh my god. They're so cute. All right, let's see. Tardigrade. Lifespan. You know that motherfucker wants to keep it as a pet. You know for a fact. Someone looked up tardigrade lifespan. They're like, how much can I invest in my tardigrade? How many little outfits can I make painstakingly in a microscope for my little tardigrade? That's like the classic one. They got that little leech mouth, which is objectively kind of disturbing. They are near impossible to kill. If one was if there were giant tardigrades, they would rule the earth. No weapon could pierce their leathery little hulls. Nothing could withstand their mighty claws. And they probably eat a lot of grass. So I guess that's a problem. Maybe. It's like, it'd be like being invaded by capybaras. Like, oh no. Darn. Now we have a shit ton of capybaras. Shucks. What a disaster. Alright, here we go. Just gonna fucking yoink this. Give me your damn. That's just the same picture. That's a little bit sideways. 2 very compatibly shaped animals, I must say. Oh, wait! There's that one horrific. Oh, this just got awesome. I didn't know that was a tardigrade's mouth. There's this one fucking. I saw it on Pinterest for the first time. It looks fucking nightmarish. I don't know if y'all can see. That thing. That's a tardigrade mouth, I think. That's awesome. I'm gonna use that. I don't know what that means. But if it's in relation to it, my face is a compatible shape, maybe in relation to a bumblebee or a tardigrade, in which case, high compliment. It is giving xenomorph. Just saw the second. I don't believe that's a real fucking thing. I don't believe that. That's a fucking mole. Somebody photoshopped this. Look at this fucking thing. Look at its funny little eyeballs and its little snout. Little leg. That can't be a real thing, can it? Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay. I got you now, motherfucker. I got you now. I'm gonna get a Bumblebee. So something that you might end up having to, if you're attending a stream, something you might have to endure. That I might as well give you context for is there was this one. I don't know if y'all watched G4 as kids. Um, it was a network for gamers, gamers only. Right? It literally looks like googly eyes, right? Anyway, oh, it is AI. Well, extra disappointing. I knew it wasn't real. Now I'm even sadder. Point is, G4 had this. I'm actually turn this down yet further in my headphones. Songs with lyrics really fuck with me when I'm talking. Good song though. I mean, what song? Anyway, G4 had this show called X Play, where they reviewed games and they did run backs and shit. Where it was like, you know, they found one thing that they could infinitely repeat or reference in the review to hold the minute attention spans of little kids like me who are also gamers. And one game they reviewed, I don't remember the name, I don't remember anything about it. I just remember that the MacGuffin, you know, TV tropes fans, the main plot thing that they like focused on and that motivated all of the conflicts and everything like that were called ampules. Like as if it wasn't a unit of measurement. It was like, I need more ampules. And they just did this like they just repeated this clip of this motherfucker saying ampules like every second, and it stuck with me so hard. Echolalia vibes, right? It's like this game gets 3 ampules out of 5. That was a big thing on X Play. They did that all the time. But somewhere down the line, because I am so easily bored, I just started like you gotta zhuzh up sentences if you're talking for long enough. You just gotta like throw sentence enhancers in there. At least I do. And any word that ends in like an LE, like, you know, like triple that, right? Tripule. I just started saying that because I was thinking about ampules. And so it became such a constant like part of my speaking patterns just to like goof around and say, you know, whatever, right? Like, you know, I need more apules, right? That was probably how it started, was with apples, me saying it like that, got reminded of ampules. But it ends up reminding me of the initial source material that I'm referencing when I say apules, multipule, different words like that. And it's just like this stupid fucking feedback loop that happens that has no reason to even be there, but it is just like the background radiation in my idiot brain. Anyway, yeah, let me catch up. We talking shit about AI. Love to see it. Yeah. It is. Yeah, I believe it is the neural network, whatever it is, like assessing the boundaries of an image where it thinks the edges are. And it's like for example, when you're doing like an auto select in a program, right? This is the automatic selecting. See how like there's like if you zoom in, there's like weird little regions right here where there's a little less. Well, I'm very blue. Dabba dee dabba da. But like there's an area where the boundaries are it's a little bit more uncertain. I feel like that's what's happening. So it's extrapolating from multiple sources, and because it's doing from multiple sources and it's not quite sure the boundaries are for some of them, it fucks it up. That's my guess. But that is just me guessing, just from what I've seen from digital art programs. Yeah. Overly smooth. Yeah. Still haven't touched the bird. The bird in court. Where did Annie touch you? Nowhere, actually. Acquitted. All right, so I got my reference photo for the tardigrade. Let's get a bumblebee going down. Oh, bees are so cute. This was a good idea. I'm just going to spend the entire stream looking at Google image searches of animals, and you can't see it. Oh god, they're so cool. Oh, cool, he's got a little proboscis. Dude, Bumblebee. I like the fact that science, there was like a while back where science was like, this fucking thing shouldn't be able to fly. It is existing in defiance of the laws of physics and God. What the fuck is it even doing in the sky? And Bumblebee's like, fuck you. I love it. Troopers, these ones. Oh, that's right. My god, so cute. Oh god. What a perfect little angel. I'm gonna actually find one where its wings are not buzzing. Oh, there's one, there's one. There we go. Now I'm gonna mail that box to myself, as I said. Let's see. Okay. My phone on do not disturb because I'm a responsible streamer. Sending this shit over here. Like, I could easily just look at it on my phone, but I like the idea of y'all being able to see what I'm seeing and what I'm pulling from. So I will. Share. AirDrop. Accept. Accept the photo. Look at this champ. Actually looks better on your screen than it does on mine. There we go. Alright, and let's see if I can open that in Procreate. And let's see if that damn beef picture. I like whenever I have like a combination of two words. Another thing, I don't know how it started, but I can't stop. Anytime like two words come together, I just imagine it as like the last name of like a fancy gentleman, like an aristocrat or some kind of like gentry, like Marmaduke beef picture. Man, mod that shit. We can't say butthole. Can't say butthole or vibrator in the chat. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Release the vibrator. Boy, that's like that Greek myth with the Kraken, but like way different. Release the vibrator. Yeah. Actually true though. How disturbing. Okay. Doing that shit over here. Accept a Rooney. Perfect. Oh, it's so cute. Alright, wonderful. Alright, save the photos. Go. Let's get these motherfuckers up in here. Add, insert a photo. Perfect. A little baby boy from the depths of hell, and I love him. A tardigrade. Yep. Import. Bumblebee. Look at his little mouth. He's crazy. He's got a knife for a mouth. Or is that his foot? I don't know. Crazy, right? This has been Nature with Nature. Hello. What is up, Paladin? Fantastic to see so many lovely little names in my chat. So I'm going to take it upon myself to put these adorable little characters, these little friendly guys from nature, into one horrific beast. And let's see what happens. Doing some monster design. Yeah, no, I'm actually, the horrors of nature never cease. Can't decide how much I'm slouching, so here we go. Now that I'm working, center myself, my chi, and all that jazz. But the first like fucking half hour looking up these little reference things should take it 5 minutes. It's fine, don't worry about it. All right, these are flat, so I'm gonna go whoop. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so let's just do. I'm gonna do a couple little sketches to sort of get a feel for both of our subjects, our little friends. Yeah, you can almost see him. Behold. Behold. Wow. Wow. Kid Pix, come on and play with Kid Pix. Wow. Oh my god. We would love to have you, buddy. If you're feeling better by Halloween, but you know, Rona's a whole ass motherfucker. Yeah, row. You can't tell they're skulls at all, probably. They're very cute though. I'm not about to pick up my setup and hoist it over so you can see little cartoon skulls, but you gotta believe. Alright, so let's take the most horrifying aspect. It looks like a fucking blooper from Mario. Like that's what that mouth. You just isolate it. Funny little octopus mouth. Ooh hoo hoo. Little fucking tongue, little teeth in there, you know. I feel like it looks like it's made of tarp. You know what I mean? Like something that you put over like a fucking barbecue when it's raining or something, but just like khaki. It's like you made a tarp out of khaki shorts and you stretched that over a bear. Yeah, tarp upgrade. Yes, you need a tarp upgrade so you can keep the rain out. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. He's got like a little. To be perfectly honest, tardigrade's pretty easy to make. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. One of the fastest tracks, one of the easiest ways to get body horror, and in fact, I would say perhaps the founding principle of it that can be applied to so many things, is to apply human textures, identifiably human textures, and human shapes to inhuman things. For instance, things that are immediately identifiable, you know, human skin, big one, you know, flesh, that kind of thing, right? Like human digits are very, very identifiably human. Like they could be simian, but simians already kind of walk the. Thank you. Yes, I've thought about it a lot because I made a lot of body horror in my day, and I'm a big fan of it as a tool. But for any aspiring horror artists out there or enthusiasts that want to sort of like think about it a little, like a boil it down really hard, that's what I've found. That's what works for me to really get visualizing horrific monsters very easily. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to show you guys sort of part of my process for designing monsters. Because A, I haven't done it in a very long time. And B, I think it's going to be a really good exercise for other people as well. This sort of thing that I'm doing right now. So he's got a little lumpy face. But tardigrade is going to be pretty easy because if you just made all of this, all that jazz into human, you know, human skin, already pretty creepy. We look more like a pig than a bear at that point. Still very cute. But yeah. When are we going to watch all the horror stuff you want to see that Moxie can't watch? Dude, that's a good question. Because I want to protect my wife. My wife. And there's some shit that is just like she's a trooper. And there's a lot of shit that like we're just like, well, it's supposed to be like a really good movie, so I'll watch it, right? But like, I'm also not a huge fan of gore. Neither of us are particularly, which is kind of a deal breaker because that's like one of the main draws for a lot of like the horror classics, all the horror practical effects and stuff like that. Usually gore is a big emphasis, but like I really, really want to see The Thing because I've never seen it. I've only seen the one of the most infamous moments from the movie, and even now I was like, that was actually horrifying. Like I could easily have seen people shitting them pants in the movie theater. I tell you what, I could easily see people shitting themselves seeing that shit like when it came out in the 80s, and even now, because like practical effects, they are built to last, man. I tell you, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's true. I'm not into gore for the sake of gore, but ever since learning SFX makeup, I'm pretty desensitized because I just see it as liquid latex and cotton balls, etc. Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I approach it too. And Moxie loves practical effects, but like there are limits. You know what I mean? To like what one can endure. Yeah, no, I get it totally. Um, but yeah, I kind of view it as research and see if there's like a little. I know it's like a shitty small picture. So let's see what I can do. It's just so cute. Look, he's got little eyes.
Ah, ah, hello. You were scared of me? Oh
This little guy.
no. Why would you be scared of me, Papa? Oh no.
He's just a little guy. He just be dripping. Yeah. Okay. So I know. Oh, I just love it. I love tardigrades. They're so cute. Um. All right. So what we could do right here is you see this right here. It I kind of see the similarities between this and like an orangutan. You know, it has those jowls, and a human those interesting sort of like folds, almost like a barn owl, right? Right. It's my gift. I can't not make cute shit sometimes. But anyway, this right here looks to me like almost like a face. You see that? What I'm seeing, right? So sort of like a face folding in on itself, or like an infant face. Babies are scary, right? Babies are scary. See a baby? It's precious. It's adorable. It's the easiest thing to subvert in terms of horror. That's why you see like a very cheap trope in horror is to have nursery rhymes and shit involving kids, right? And there's a natural human inclination, not true for everybody, but there's a natural human inclination just like within us to want to protect or nurture something that we immediately register as a child, as a baby, as a little guy. It's a little guy, right? You see something that you register as a small, vulnerable creature, you want to protect it. You're like, that's adorable, right? That's why, animals with little tiny voices, stuff like that, aside from just being cute on their own, I feel like that has something to do with it. It's like a psychological mechanism that's in us that has gotten us pretty far, is to protect the little guy, protect the little baby boy. Um, and if you take that inclination, that reflex, and you subvert it, then you can. It's a very easy mechanism to utilize for horror. It's like that looks like a baby, but it's not. Like I don't think I've ever been more terrified just watching a video game being played than in Resident Evil Village with that fucking infant thing. You know the one. If you know, you know. That shit's absolutely fucked. I see consensual in the chat. Oh boy, what's happening? All right. Yeah. Subset distinction between horror entities with uncanny human traits and regular humans turning horror entity. I wonder. I feel like both of them work off of the same principles of the uncanny valley. Um, it's the recognition of human faces in things that are not human. What is that called? Pareidolia or pareidolia. I don't remember how you pronounce it, but that's the concept. That's the mechanism. Um, I think I think both whichever direction you're going, it's part of the uncanny valley. And people have theorized that the uncanny valley exists as a means of warding off or reducing the possibility of you interacting with someone who is like going to kill you with their illness or disease or something like that, because theoretically you see someone who is afflicted with something beyond a certain level of like hope to be saved, right? They will have features that are a little off, right? So that was what people were theorizing, is that like maybe it's a mechanism to avoid us being, infected by diseases, viruses and stuff like that. But I don't know. Yeah, the Uncanny Valley is one of my favorite things that I learned about um pretty much ever, actually. Um for those who might not be aware of it, and I'm probably gonna I never had to explain this while like entertaining before, so forgive me if I make an ass of myself and the concept. But essentially, oh shit, I have a piece of paper basically at this point. All right, but there's basically um like there's a level of how much you relate to something versus how human it is, right? And say like, right here. Let's make a little graph. Story time, right? So, let's say how much this is how much you relate to something, and this is how human it is, right? Okay, right? And Uncanny Valley, I'm very very much paraphrasing, and yes, it was originally for robotics. Thank you, Moxie. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that is actually very helpful context, right? Let's put a little robot over here. Beep boop. He got a little antenna. Classic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, he's probably got claw arms. Point is, um, the closer something is to being human, like it's like you're fine if it's like a toaster, right? It's like toaster, right? You can't relate to it, but like you aren't afraid of it, right? So you're like it's fine, right? And then like the closer something gets to being human, the more you love it. It's like, oh, there's a cute little robot guy with a face. It's great. And then there's like this is like a full bona fide human being over here, right? This is like holy shit, I want this thing in my life, right? It's like the apex of the example. But just before you get to literally exactly a direct human, there's this incredible dip in your comfort with what it is, right? And that's when something looks almost human, but there's something fucking cursed about it. You can't put your finger on it exactly. You know for a fact that it is not what it seems, which is, your brain's like, I want this to be a human so bad, but it simply is not. And that sort of dissonance that's happening within you causes like a fucking like gridlock to happen. And it's just the most uncomfortable you can be looking at something. I'm sure not everybody's affected the same way by different things. I'm sure my weird artistic brain interprets a lot of shit as very differently than other people might, but like it seems to be a pretty universal phenomenon when you see like a robot and it's just like dead-eyed and expressionless, but it's got like a moving little mouth thing. Yeah, exactly. Brave little toaster. Ow. This isn't not safe for work, but I'm too pan to deprecate toaster as possible partner. IDK, I'm brain broken. You know, ow. But I've said it before. I mean, if it's not plugged in, hey, who's to say? You don't bring it into the bathtub with you. Who's to say? Earth little toaster. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That character designer was working overtime. I tell you what. Okay, we got kind of like a brow ridge happening here. Remind me of. Oh, there's a character from Berserk who actually has a face very similar to this. Yeah, the concept is so funny. So we got this. Hyper realistic detail and human textures can do it just can do wonders for making something as unpleasant as possible to look at. It's pretty funny. Someone's sneezing in another room. I can hear it. Wonder if y'all can hear it. It's a very funny parody idea. And it's like you can tell it's not entirely joking, but it's like it's such a good concept for people who have like super abstract hear me outs. Like I would happily fuck a gradient. I've said it before. 100%. Like the concept of gradients in and of itself, smooth transition from color to color. Damn. I love them so much. I might, you know what I mean? It's really funny. I saw it in the Nintendo Direct, I think, most recent one. I think it was at E3 and stuff. Oh wait, really? Does he know that he scarred so many kids with that fucking scene in the landfill or the scrapyard? It was at the goal. I gotta ask him because that shit fucked me up as a kid. I don't know about y'all. Dude, it was like, boom. I was like, get me out of here! The toaster! Like I've never been more scared for an appliance's life. So I guess they did a good job, you know. It was horrible, man. Oh, that is a shame. Well, I'm not about to raise somebody from the dead to ask if they regret or if they intended to traumatize children with a scene about a fucking magnet in a children's movie. Weren't there like four of those movies, by the way? I remember the first one, and I think I saw the second one. I think that was direct to video. I don't know if they both were or not. All right, so let's get back to work here. Talking about fucking all sorts of nonsense. All right, so let's get some practice hands happening. Thinking maybe like a butcher situation. As if you look at these, it's a very, very, very low resolution picture, so I don't know if you could even see it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Get in Monsters Inc. The one who said,
Mike Wazowski.
that shit, right? If I recall correctly. Oh wow, that's right. That's so cool. All right, so we're doing meat hooks. We're doing meat hooks, gang. Okay, kind of like a little mound of flesh happening here. Do some more little industrial inclusions. That give it a little bit of geometry. Helps it get appeal from a distance. Don't want things to be too appealing. Or I do. Everybody enjoys appeal in design, you know. Yeah, I hope she's well too. Okay. I just keep seeing this guy right here, and I'm just like, oh, hee, little guy. All right. Let's get this guy out of here. Just get the point. Right. To make that look more like any opportunity to add teeth, the more like realism you put around teeth, say like gums, shit like that, the more effective it is. Like just think about Nemesis from Resident Evil, right? You got that like no nose leads straight into the teeth, right? And you can see the gums that basically go all the way up. Much stronger and much more identifiably inhuman while still having human elements. There you go. Drink your OJ every day. You will be okay. I'm into that. There we go. Also, something that I find kind of interesting is there's a couple of tropes, kind of matters of course, that people have regarding horror designs. And I feel like a lot of people default to sharp teeth, red eyes as like the most entry level introductions to, like what constitutes a scary design. Well, like you think about like a 10-year-old drawing, oh, what's the scariest thing I could think of? We got red eyes, we got teeth that are sharp, that are sharper than they should be, with blood dripping off of them. Like that's like, I could think of myself included, like 20 drawings from different people who were like around like 12 and younger that like that's what they looked like. um but flat teeth are more identifiably human. Think about the xenomorph. The thing about the xenomorph and other HR Giger shit that is so like disturbing is the fact that it almost registers as like having human characteristics. And one of the things that it has is a very human set of teeth. You remember when that drawing of what was like a fucking parrotfish or something shows up, like on the internet, and it had like it looked like it was wearing dentures, but they were like coming out of it. It was like a perfectly human set of teeth, and everybody lost their shit because it's the scariest thing they've ever seen. There you go. There you go. It's like flat teeth. It's like you got to make choices specifically, right? And sometimes it's as simple as like a little mathematical substitution, right? It's like a substitution of variables. That's right. It's like if you're doing like, if you're doing teeth, I always start with gums because all the shit's psychology, right? Like, um, there's like a psychological effect where if someone sees a picture of a dog baring its fangs and it's like its gums and everything, it's like that, like it's an instant knee jerk reaction. And that's like you're like absolutely not, get me the fuck out of here. So showing a little gum with your teeths, very very helpful for registering it as like dangerous and threatening, even if it's not necessarily doing anything actively threatening or dangerous to you at the moment, right? So like kind of like an example. That's a good example of like, just nice little flat human looking teeth. I usually like adding the more anatomical you get, the more interesting and effective it can be. I like you doing a little bit of, like kind of basing them off of my own personal teeth. You got the two big ones. My teeth, like myself, are very like cartoony. I'm not gonna show you right now because I just ate and I don't want to risk it. There's anything in my teeth. I don't want y'all to know about it. Um, but there you go. You got some canines in there. Again, gum definition. Very fun. A little bit more detail right here at the base of them, right? Where the grooves get for some people. Effective. But you can also do things like, we talking trauma in the chat? It's all good. We're all friends here. catching up a little bit. Yeah, humanoid teeth on monsters freaks me out. It is a natural repulsion, I think. Again, uncanny valley. I know that's human, but it's not on a human thing. Camp. We're forced into theater camp. Yeah, Stalberry is cool. Have you've seen Opal, right? Still gotta show Moxie. Wow. Opal's crazy. So good. Alright. So I'm trying to make like a little tooth cylinder. The audacity of this song to have a fucking 1 minute intro. There we go. So we got a few teeth options here. As I mentioned before, getting specific about your teeth choices. There's different kinds of sharp teeth, right? Everybody wants to do, like classic, like rah 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 rah, right? Like it's a spooky guy, grr, right? Like who gives a shit? Just Domo-kun, basically. Throwback, but like deep sea creatures, those fucking like scary, almost like it almost looks like a carnivorous plant, right? Deep sea creatures are some of the most unnerving. They're beautiful creatures. I don't think there's a creature on the earth who does not have some kind of beauty about them if you enjoy life, right? As a concept, if you like creatures, it's not like I won't fuck it. You know what I mean? Like it's um when I say deep sea creatures are absolutely terrifying, does not mean they are not beautiful in their own way. But some shit is just fucking terrifying, and one of the things about them is the particular kind of sharp teeth that they have, the sort of thin needles. Like you look at that shit and you're like, I really don't want that like rending my flesh. And they usually have like fucked up unseeing eyes too. Like there's a lot of fun shit that you can do. Look at that. Actually, that because it makes it look a little bit less. There's a really interesting thing that you experience when you draw like monsters and shit. Anything with eyes really is just the most minute addition or subtraction of a line can completely change the expression of the thing that you're drawing. And part of that comes from us having evolved to be so expressive facially, how we communicate, and to evolve to have very, very fine control of our facial muscles, sometimes to a point where, you know, it's where it's inconvenient, right? Because people can see. Like in my case, I have like an involuntarily intensely expressive face, and a lot of people can see that as vulnerable, and they're absolutely right. But like because of that sort of tendency and inclination towards you know seeing that intense level of expression, being able to see that level of expression, you add a tiny little line and it completely changes. Like even that, it goes from being like like staring and menacing to being like a little uncertain, and that's the most tiny fragment of a circle, the most insignificant line, right? But we're trained for it. It's very interesting. Rice and beans. Hell yeah. Go for it. Yeah, I procrastinate so much in terms of just doing basic shit. It'd be fine if I lived alone or whatever, then I would only be my own problem. But I end up dragging other people with me sometimes, and it's a damn shame. Get this burlap sack of a gentleman looking nice and spooky. I'm gonna minimize that and try again. A little bit more willpower here. Some rough arms for days. There's music for y'all. I mean, what music? I'm gonna make the head a little bit smaller because it's something that makes it look so friendly. It's actually pretty close to it so far. I like the body language so far. Kind of a nice hunch. So we're gonna extend these adorable little limbs, but not too much. Just enough to make it look a little less absolutely fucking precious. Nice, yeah, go for it. Do them dishes. Home slice. Alright, if we did this. Let's do like a screaming mouth. Work with the sort of xenomorph energy that we mentioned earlier. There we go. Dude, let's do a double mouth real quick. It's like honestly that little series of arcs right there into teeth. It's kind of a cheap move because it's so good and requires so little effort, but hey, we take those. Let's go. Go. Looking at that immediately, I want to not give it any eyes. Question then becomes, do I want to give it the implication of where eyes would be? Like sort of like sagging right there. The danger in drawing eyes that are obscured by folds of any kind or by hair, stuff like that, is that I feel like character design is sort of like any art of any kind, like visually, it's applied observation. In this case, character designs are you're basically making a series of references to reality. And sometimes you're making references to other works of fiction, often, like shapes that you saw applied specific ways, and then reapplying them in a similar way. Like anytime someone has a hat like Jotaro's, right? You know what their source material, like what they're referencing, basically, right? Um, but you're observing and reapplying shapes from different aspects of reality and reconstructing an image. You're reconstructing an image out of what you've seen and what you like, right? You're reapplying reality in different ways, almost like it's like an even more abstract version of a collage. And those connecting points between aspects of reality that you're referencing in your character designs, like you have to be aware of them. It's like speaking any language except you're doing it with visual shapes instead of words. And combinations of different shapes will form different images and conjure images in different people's minds, right? Like for me, if I put something like this, like these little folds over here, similar to the tardigrade itself, right? Just acted as if it was like little skin folds made of actual flesh instead of whatever the hell tardigrade's made out of, little tiny skin, I guess. If you're not careful with how the eyes are obscured, it'll look kind of like a sheepdog. Sheepdogs are cute, non-threatening, right? So it's very interesting how conscious you have to be of how things are going to be perceived, different shapes and different combinations of shapes. It's a very fascinating process, in my opinion. Go, very nice. Thank you. I forgot my tea in the other room. I don't usually drink tea, especially when it's in the other room. But I thought it'd be nice time around. Especially jabbering for 3 hours. Today we're going to be going until about 9 o'clock. Just so you guys know. Oh no! Your faucet just exploded! Just too excited to help you wash those dishes. It was like, huh! Oh no. What occurred? Yeah, whenever you're dry, please feel free to explain what occurred. You poor dear. That's what you needed when you're sick, right? Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Good start, good start. Okay, let's get a little bit. So we could, at this point, we could work with the inherent shapes of the tardigrade with the sort of cute little stubby limbs, right? And make it look almost like maybe the limbs should be there. They've been removed. Of the sort of hooks coming out of them, similar to how I drew another page. Oh, am I muttering too much? All right, got it. Thank you. Oh, get this guy over. Whoop, excuse me. Over here real quick. I'm actually gonna isolate the B real quick so I can make it invisible individually. All right, and I'm gonna make these two. I'm keeping as sort of arms. The front limbs. I'm keeping those as arms. The back ones I'm gonna do as legs. These ones right here. we're making pretty good progress in terms of making a creepy tardigrade. Kind of have that trail down the rest of the body line real quick. Almost like I might do like sort of like an autopsy scar situation. Again, character design is basically like hyper dense references to other aspects of reality. So little, little nods and gestures at ideas, you know what I mean? Okay. A little bit of knee action going here. Work with what we've got in the reference photo here. Adding little shapes. Bella's back. I think it's pretty strong so far. All right. Darken that a little bit, just for contrast's sake from a distance. Pretty spooky from here. He's just a friendly little guy. He just wants to eat kelp, right? That's all. Kind of tooth-like about little where the limbs end right now. A little bit of vein details there. Again, building off of the body horror concepts that I mentioned before of applying human textures to inhuman things. That, by the way, not necessarily human, organic textures to inorganic if you want to really boil it down, but the human element really takes it to the immediate, sort of uncanny valley, unnerving aspect, in my opinion. But organic textures, like if you add veins to anything, it's awful. Especially if you got the like the different colors, like red and blue and shit like that, and it's like kind of transparent and kind of like under the skin. Because you have to ask. It's like, because logic follows. It's like, oh, if there's veins there, then this thing can bleed. Why would something like that need to bleed, right? Like if you draw like a fucking rock, just like a regular ass rock, just sitting there, and you're like, okay, there's a rock. That's fine. Add a little bit of detail and shit, right? And then all of a sudden, you notice that it's got some like actual factual like human veins, or like, some circulatory system shit happening, right? You're like, that's not right. I don't agree with that. I think that's in fact highly questionable and problematic, and I'm going to leave to a place where rocks do not have veins. See what I mean? Immediately, it's, yeah, give them blood, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, organic tech, because it takes the human tool making tendency, right? It's like, what can I do with this little piece of wood to make it into, or like, oh, I have this crooked piece of, wooden fiber, right? I'll use it to get this piece of, this piece of food or piece of fruit out of this little crack that I wouldn't be able to reach in otherwise, right? It's like, we like tools. We've gotten to the point where we're dependent on and like obsessed with technology and you know our devices and everything that we've advanced to get to the point of, and then it's like if you draw veins on a smartphone, if you made a smartphone out of flesh, it's just horrible. Something about it, man. Alright, I'm gonna delete the veiny rock. It can't hurt you. Get this veiny rock out of here. Yeah, no one wants a flesh phone. You add teeth to something that shouldn't have teeth immediately. Again, same shit. Always the same shit. People hate that. Awful. Alright. So, let's give it little meat hook claw things. That's what they fucking have. We're just making it weirder. Get out of meat. Meat hooks made out of meat? Wow. And I like sort of mechanical. It probably honestly a lot of my choices in terms of horror designs come directly from Silent Hill. I haven't played the remake yet, but it's something that I'd like to do. If I had money, I'd probably have it already, but I do not. So I guess I'll just cry. Speaking of which, if you want to donate, I have a Patreon and I have a Ko-fi, a Ko-fi. I believe we got bot things for it. Let's try it out. No, I think we have to post it. Moxie, can you be my bot? The best. There's widgets right there in the bottom of the Twitch screen. If you want to see me draw more of this for some reason, you animal. Now, if you like what I do, you want to donate, I need money. And I love you. So that's great. What up, Brando? Good to have you, bud. I'm so glad to see you specifically because I have a little bit of something that I will be sharing with you after the stream that might interest you greatly. Dude, yes. Yeah, so for new entries, in chat, I put up a couple of different categories and classifications of animal. We got mammal, marine life, insect, avian, microscopic, reptile. Not all of those at once. God, could you imagine? But kind of. Anyway, I had chat request two of these present categories and something specific from the ones mentioned. And so right now we have a bumblebee and a tardigrade. And I am starting with each of them, and then I'm going to combine them into one horrific being. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be messaging you after this, my dear friend, and very, very good news that you will enjoy hearing. Yeah, a bumblegrade. Yeah. If you put tardigrade at the beginning of a portmanteau, I think it'll end poorly. I'll just put it like that. It just make me sound like an asshole, really. But that's nothing new. Anyway, let me. I'm gonna go ahead and add sort of another mechanical element. Because you already got sort of like, I'm turning these little funny little claws that they have into sort of like meat hooks sticking out of meat. So let's see if I can work with that concept yet further. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they're incredible. So interesting. And such like just like so much potential. And they're just adorable too. Like they're unkillable from extreme temperatures. They can survive in space. What the hell? Look like little guys, like little mammals and such. I don't know, man. Crazy shit. Now, the simplest way, yeah, it'll be all that's left. I I feel like the easiest way to add Bumblebee features to a tardigrade is just to give it wings, and so I got to figure out something else to sort of add as like an X factor, because I don't like any. I feel like character designs, are such a interesting opportunity. Like you can do so much and apply so many different ideas in one convenient, fun little package with character design. I feel like if you're doing anything less than like trying to make as inspired decisions as possible, then like it's a missed opportunity. Very passionate about it, and that is just a very diplomatic way of saying that I'm a snob. But like it's really important to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Like they look so cuddly. They're so cute. Like look at this guy. Look at this guy over here. He's made out of like a fucking sleeping bag. He's got little claws. He's just like, he looks like how a waterbed feels. If you guys have ever had the chance to be on a waterbed, I had the chance in my weird little apartment thing that I was in uh when I lived like in SoCal. Um and I was like, we were in that house until I was like 5 or something, just turning 5. And um I remember this waterbed specifically because this is an interesting story time. Um, when I was about 4, I had this dream. I remember very, very clearly, um, where I was on a cliff, a very, very super high up gray stone cliff, a bunch of sort of different, it was very rocky and very kind of uneven. Um, and my mom, dad, and brother, so my entire family were all kind of on the cliff. And I was looking over the edge of it, and I had essentially a bird's eye view of the entire town, which I don't know if I saw it on TV or if we had done a flight at it and then I had forgotten about it and I'd seen everything from above. But either way, I was 4. I looked down and I saw the entire city or wherever I was, right? And I believe my mom reached for me or something, but I'd already started falling. And I was falling straight towards the city. And right as I closed in on what I assumed to be my own roof, I woke up with a start. And because I woke up with a start, the waterbed went. So for my tiny kid brain, it literally, the math worked out that I literally just fell from like that height into the bed, right? And it was a crazy moment. The waterbed was like crazy. Yeah, it's that's one of the only like the two noteworthy things about it um are that dream and another like kind of nightmare instance. That's all I really remember from those days. I don't really talk about it too much, not because like it's like it's a problem. It's just like it's not really. I guess it's not really relevant to most of my life. Um, while we're on the topic of that house and that bedroom, I had, and especially considering it's Freaky Friday, I had a one of those sliding mirror doors for the closets of that room. It was like I love being able to draw diagrams. Holy shit! All right. Anyway, so look, this right here is the room, right? This is the door. I had a big window right here. There were 2 massive sliding mirror doors for the closet, right? I had a waterbed. That's a too long of a waterbed. I had a waterbed. My brother had a waterbed. Sleeping, right? And I look over one night And there was in the window, right? It was shadow, something that I interpreted as an owl, right? One sec, I'm gonna move this over a little bit. This is fun. I like procedural storytelling with art. So, in the window, there was this, couple trees at the window. It was dark as fuck. Absolutely pitch black, right? Dark trees. And there was this shadowy figure that I interpreted as an owl. And it had these like absolutely fucking like pants shittingly piercing eyes, right? And it was just staring my ass down. And no matter where I looked, it was staring at me. I know, right? Yeah, and I've never had the opportunity to tell it with a diagram before. But it had these really like piercing eyes, right? And it was big. It was a big fucking owl. And it was just looking at me. And I tried to look away. You understand? Looks kind of like Killer Queen from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from here. Maybe it was him this entire time. He's gonna blow me up. Anyway, so this motherfucker's looking at me, and I'm like, oh my god, ah, oh my god. Yeah, that's me. This is a good example of how I was feeling at that moment. I had like probably like a bowl cut at that point because my mom cut my hair and she couldn't cut my hair. Anyway, my bowl cut having ass was like all upset and shit. And I was like, oh god, and I look away, right? But these are fucking mirrors, so I see him in the goddamn mirrors. Yeah, look at that fucking kid. It looks like grandma. Ah, yeah, that's exactly what I was like. Brother's sleeping in bed. He's the fuck passed out. He's asleep, right? I try to look away from the window where the spooky man is, and it's still here because there's a fucking mirror, right? And then I turn and I just close my eyes, and the eyes are in my fucking eyelids. The thing's staring at me even when my eyes are closed. And so I run the fuck out of the room. I'm like, I'm not sleeping I'm not sleeping in that room ever again. Fucking do something about that, right? I don't even know if I attempted to explain or if I was too scared, but I slept on the couch for the rest of the time that we lived there because that moment scared me so much. Thinking back to it now with a logical mind, I don't know if this is true, but the only guess that I have is you ever stare at a light fixture for longer than a certain point, and then you get an after image of it either as pink or green. So that's kind of what I'm guessing happened, but it was so long ago I don't know for certain. But that would explain why, I'm just going to sleep. I can't sleep. There's something when I look out the window, like, where the contrast is that high, everything's so dark outside. I can see the after image of something that ended up in the shape of eyes somehow, or that's how I interpreted it. That's the only way that I can imagine it being present when I close my eyes, or I was haunted by the ghost of an owl. Take your pick. It's Halloween. I don't give a hoot. Oh no, Lenny's attacking your toes. Anyway, deeply sidetracked. I'm saving this separately for posterity. Go to sleep now. Yeah. Oh, you motherfucker. Like an owl, yes. A hoot. Indeed. I don't give a hoot like an owl. There we go. You see what I'm doing here? Do another little instance of these horrifying mechanical appendages. Autopsy scars. Fun touch. Just a little guy. I mean, this is like way more challenging in terms of like horror designs than I was even anticipating, and I love y'all for that. Because trying to make a tardigrade not adorable or a bumblebee not adorable, that is no mean feat. Tell you that much. Could leave these as legs, but I think it would be better to just like a slightly mechanical element. Remove that. I'll just make them the same. It'll just be the joints that are different. They're just gonna kind of stop short, just like the others. Add a little bit of veins. Can you imagine Bob Ross doing horror shit? Gonna add a couple happy little veins. This right here will accentuate the muscle tissue, which will let you know that it is a menacing being, not here to help you. And these. Look. The Gautier song that had the little dancing robe guys. I don't remember. Playlist was made by Moxie in the chat, by the way. Good stuff. Chilloween. Yeah, I think so too. No, it's great. It's perfect. Both Bumblebee and Tardigrade are just like exactly what I wanted, basically. It'll push me. Make it spooky. That much spookier. Maybe I'll add a little bit more definition. Maybe that'll make him look less sweet and huggable and adorable, but probably not. It looks pretty cute. Perfect. Little clampy claws that he will use to clamp jaws. Anyway, thanks for your time. Anyway, here we go. That in the background a little bit. Pretty good motion. I think this is a little bit overlapping with the legs. A little bit too much, so I'll just scoot that down a little bit. Like so. Bada bingus, bada bungus. If they're out there on their own, how are they gonna touch you? Silly Roger Waters or whatever the fuck his name is. Something like that. Okay. Things always fun. It's really easy to go overboard and make it look kind of like cartoony, but if you keep your hand light, delicate, it can read really nicely. It's add a lot of detail to an otherwise fairly flat or nude shape. Oh, I literally just used window capture and I shrunk it. So if you have the browser version of Spotify, I mean, who's Spotify? Nothing's playing right now. Anyway, if you have the window version of it, like the application, at least on Apple devices, you can do like a pull away separate screen, and you squash that shit down, and then you use window capture in OBS. and you just adjust that to the size that you want. So I basically just took it and made it as small as possible. Yeah, no, it's great. I would look up a tutorial. You probably already did it actually. But if you haven't already, there's a way to separate VOD recording so that when it makes it to Twitch, none of the licensed music is there. Yeah. Dude, hell yeah. Please join me. Lurk and work. Be going for another hour and a half, so I absolutely love it when people are also working when I'm on stream. Whatever you're making, skating, even if it's just doing like doing some basic chores, stuff like that, let me know in the chat. Greatly enjoy that. He's looking a little bit menacing. It's still tardigrade, so it's still French shaped. But I think we got some good shapes that are unsettling. The face is pretty good in my opinion. That's too much. Oh no, the worps. Kind of cobbled together. All right, so I think we got a pretty good baseline for the tardigrade. That's looking pretty good. Simple being. Now I gotta do my best to make the bumblebee scary, and then we're gonna fuse them if I have time. Yeah, really. Oh, you got arthritis, dude. I'm so sorry, man. It runs in my family, so I'm just waiting for it. Theoretically, they're like, no, guitar and bass is really good for arthritis. It's like, yeah, unless you like skip too many days in a row and then you're just fucked, right? I don't know. But yeah, shit is brutal. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that added a little bit too much definition, actually. It made it look like he was like trying not to laugh. Little tardigrade, buddy. Alright. Dude, yeah, straight up. And I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I want to leave time for our lovely little bee man. But I will apply some basic color. I think this will work. Really, really quick render just to get some sort of ideas down, you know? I love this brush so much. Hearts is what it's called, and it's literally just a stock brush on Procreate. You don't need anything crazy. My two favorite brushes actually ended up being stock brushes somehow. I think I just lucked out, honestly. But my main one for like, I turned off the slant because I hold my pencil like a fucking lunatic. This is literally how I hold my pencil. Much like a lot of things in life, it tried to get me to stop, but I was both a very good combination of oblivious and stubborn, so it just bounced off of my head completely, and I just kept doing my own thing. This is how I hold a pencil. Yeah, it's like pinky right up next to the fucking nib or whatever. I don't even know what you call this. A lot of people think I'm left-handed at first when they're facing me, and then they're like, wait a minute, that's your right hand. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, man, whatever. And then I've heard some people be like, yeah, some people hold their pencils like, artists hold their pencils like that on purpose, right? Just to get more control in this specific way, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm doing something right incidentally. I think they were just trying to make me feel better if I'm being honest. But I'll take it. It's really funny because I used to draw with really heavy, like I liked heavier leads, I like thicker lines, so I would use a 0.7 mechanical pencil or like one of the Ticonderogas or whatever the fuck, right? And I would just end up with just an entire black. It's like I just like dipped my hand in like a glaze of graphite. It was just go like deck after drawing so dark, and it was just like coated. My entire side of my hand was just black. Um, it's pretty funny. I think this combination will work okay, and then I can add when I'm using like a brush that has the capacity for opacity, but yeah, it's like if it's a particularly pressure sensitive brush, I usually leapfrog it. So I go from this color and then I skip two over to this color, right? So if you use them together, it's like, you get that smooth gradient while also having a lot of contrast. Um, but for my more cartoony simplistic look, this is my favorite. I got this from the Tsvetka ink brushes set, and I believe I haven't made many adjustments to it. This is one of the one of the only of my main favorite brushes that we actually bought, but it was a pretty cheap brush pack. But if I'm doing this, right, make that as big as possible. I go 1, 2, 3, and it behaves a lot like this way of using it. No, I didn't do. I don't think I did any art classes. I was in the last art class I remember being in explicitly was in middle school, but I'm self-taught. Um, I just took I took COVID as an opportunity to not having it, but like the pandemic. Sorry, I have not yet gotten COVID. Knock on wood. I will continue to not have COVID. My wife is high risk, and we have fought like fucking Vikings on a sinking ship, trying our best to not get it in spite of everything. So far so good. Fingers crossed it stays that way. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's like it's really easy to get lost in the sauce. I call it shiny object syndrome. It's especially, I mean, you're both an artist and a musician, so you understand this just as well as I do, where it's like there's so many things that exist to get our money, and we're so susceptible to this sort of exploitive consumerist mindset that it's just like it's so easy to get like to want to just have that perfect piece of gear or that perfect brush or a set of color palettes, et cetera, and like I call it as I said, I call it shiny object syndrome. It's just really tough to avoid. Yeah, exactly. Lamau, a nurse at the doctor's office, was like, "Wow, you're so lucky." No, bitch, I simply was forced to give up my life for 4 years ago due to other people's selfishness. Like that is exactly the energy. So the goal here is to make it look equal parts fleshy and also cold, so lifeless. So that's a little. I worked really hard for a very long time on my particular color palettes, and I'm seeing it pay off. I'm feeling it pay off. People are complimenting me like on my use of color a lot, and it's really fucking validating. Um, and I'm really happy with them. I spent the entire pandemic, like first 3 to 4 years, and I'm still going to a certain extent, but I've kind of stabilized. I found what I like, what I want for the purposes of expression. But like I made it so that it works within Procreate. Like I literally just like completely wove my workflow with Procreate, like matrimonially. Like they love each other and they're inseparable now. And if something happened to either of them, I'd be fucked. Um, but you basically got these main colors here, right? The red, the dark blue to the red to the yellow and green. This little perimeter right here that I'm highlighting. Poke. if you use the hue shift function, it actually moves it directly over to the other side of the palette. So this one right here, this is a direct hue shift of those. Meanwhile, this right here is when you hit invert. So if I were to hit, I'm using this palette right here right now, Peaks and Valleys. I gave them all fun little names because I like that, and it's easier to remember when I'm referring to them offhand. Yeah, basically, like someone's like, "Oh, do you use dodge or do you use this or whatever the fuck?" I'm like, I literally don't know what those are. It's like the full caveman approach of it. Fuck yeah. Shit. But yeah, I have no idea what any of those mean. I just figured these out with trial and I fucked around and I found out, and here we are. But if I took these three colors right here from the top of Peaks and Valleys 2, and if I hit invert, it will be the top three colors of these, of Vim and Vigor 2, these right here. So let's see how it looks. Crazy, right? Let me see if they updated something in Procreate and I look like a fool, that would be really funny. But if you do the color picker, see, it's exactly the same color. So the idea is that within Procreate, I have a palette that is full of contrast in every direction, and it'll make it so that if I use it correctly, it'll make for just like endless appeal. And it's also built with hue shifting in mind, where like instead of just increasing brightness, it's all changing color values. So I'm not just raising the black or white, right? Like I'm not just sliding around here. I'm literally like from one to the next, right? It is not only, I'm basically just adding red and a little bit of green, right, as I go up. Truth be told, this is a variation of the sort of mother palette that caused all of these to come into existence. It's just, I started with a dark blue, and then I increased the values of only the red, and then I increased the values of only the green on the other side. You see that? And so at the midway point between them, you get, it's like, it's changing colors as it gets brighter. So there's never not gonna, like, it's like as much color in your colors as you can get. Anyway, fun stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's less that I didn't dive into it. It's that I just missed it, I guess. I don't know. It is actually more impressive, like, how oblivious I am in some ways than it is. You know what I mean? Anyway. It is definitely probably, it like, whatever test it is that determines, like, lets you know how autistic you are. I scored like really high on that shit. And that's after, that's with constant help from Moxie because I took the questions so literally I didn't know exactly how to answer them, which I think should give me some bonus points. Thought that was kind of funny. Anyway. Silly shit, man. Yeah. Self-assessment. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Because I ended up finding, the palettes kind of have backdoors into each other, right? Parts of the same color palette. So this one right here, this color is exactly the same as this color within a factor. If you see up here, the little color signifier on Procreate. I guess this thing right here. A second. Yeah. This guy right here. Beep beep. That little dot right there, it's exactly the same. on those sides, so you can kind of come at it from different angles. There's a lot of really weird shit that I wouldn't have found. It's just like a fun way to make things. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Constant uppers around the clock, always trying to slow it down. Yeah, my mind is all or nothing. It's always I mean, it's always on, right? For better or for worse. Just always thinking of shit, coming up with ideas and stuff. But also like if there's something that like negatively affects me, it's just there in my head until it's not. Always dwelling on shit, you know? Very, very permeable membrane, I would say. Yeah. A little bit of purple. Make the pink stand out when it happens. It looks a little bit more saturated on your guys' screen, but I could be wrong. That's alright. Just soften that up a little bit. Add some more layers of kind of fleshy sponginess. Gross, bro. And I'll add the color to the teeth. Those two would probably work well together. Want to make sure it stands out from the sort of skin. Yeah. All right. I did traditional for the longest time, and I really have deep love for it. And you know, the feel is really like it's hard to get to the same extent. But I can be quite apathetic, and I'm also a stickler for I like consistency. You know what I mean? And the ability to say without a doubt 100% of the time when I want a color to be a specific color, it'll be the exact color and the exact relative color to the one that I'm expecting it next to it. That is very nice for me and my control freakery. I would say for color, yes, I'm a bit. I enjoy digital more than any other thing. Closest thing I had to it before was we had Prismacolor markers, and the more into like depth of color like this I get, the more cost prohibitive using markers becomes. You know what I mean? Because imagine for me to get my specific look, even the bare bones of this right here is, let's see, let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that's 9 by 5. So what is that? That's 45 times 4, right? All these color families working together. That's the backbone of this color palette. 45 times 4. Can I do math on stream? Is that 180? That's a lot. A lot of markers. I would say that nothing quite replaces. I got really, really into charcoals. I was doing before I got into digital art. I would take. I have like different toned construction papers of varying grays. I had charcoal pencils, and I had like pen and ink. Um, and I would use, including white charcoal and jelly roll, the sort of white pens. I would make black and white pieces by cutting out pieces of paper after drawing on them, and then making them together in kind of a collage that I made. And that was probably the most fun and satisfying art I made before I started getting more and more into digital art. Um, it is just so comforting to have everything in one place. Honest to God, I'd probably still be doing traditional art if I was not so into animation. But the fact that I am getting more and more into animating my shit, it does make it a lot more of a selling point to be able to have like a consistent art style between static drawings and animated drawings. Or however many art styles I have. I think it's like 3 main ones at this point. Oh, I fucking love charcoal. Nothing quite approaches it in terms of sheer joy and satisfaction and aesthetic preference. And like in terms of working with it as traditional mediums go, charcoal is like my absolute favorite. But for colors and for obviously for animation, I've never tried traditional animation beyond like doing it with like a flip book when I was younger, and I can't imagine going back now that I've kind of gotten a groove for digital animation. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit of red to the base of this to make it feel a little bit more visceral. Oh, what was it? What is that wholesome Reddit post? Tell me. There we go. A little bit of not quite blush, but a little bit more of a sort of visceral feeling. Tempering that sort of bluish purple that I was using with that raspberry. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it's got it's I don't know what generation it is, but it has kind of like a one flat side here. Oh, one flat side here, and the rest of it's round. Um, my thumb usually ends up on the flat side. Yeah. So it's not like a traditional pencil. Pardon the water drinking ASMR. Yeah. It's the flat part that sticks to the side of the iPad. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. This is sort of the base color that I have for the flesh. If I went further down on peaks and valleys, it would end up being more and more saturated. So instead, I'm gonna go over here onto this side of Vim and Vigor. And I'll add some gray and I'll see how that looks. All right, let's see. So y'all don't have to read it. Someone from Italy who lives somewhere where there aren't really snails has joined r/snail because they think they're cute. Found a snail on their bed, wanted advice because they want to keep it as a pet, but they're concerned because it doesn't have a shell. It's a slug. Everyone in the comments is being really nice about it. OP is laughing at themselves and making an enclosure for the slug. He needs a home. It's just a homeless snail. That's so cute. Oh my god. That's really cute. I mean, how could you think anything different, right? If you don't know shit about snails, you have every right to assume that it's just like, you know, a vulnerable little sad snail. That is so cute. Have that. Add a little bit more shading to the underside of it so it gives it a little bit more weight and presence. The most difficult thing that I find about rendering is knowing when to stop. Because I get so like zenned out about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more color and blend in here. Doing this until I die. What do you mean it's been 8 hours? Back to the reason I like the color palette setup that I have right now is because it ends up making it so that it's like I have enough options to get creative, but it's also like some unexpected shit in there, and I usually go off of, I go in directions based on what I have in front of me. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a very fun way to discover color combinations like that. Right. It can't help it, man. It's just very cute. But if you saw it move, it would be a little less cute. Zooming out so I can see it. Like nothing for y'all. I think I'm gonna go back to the way it was before. It's just a simple render anyway, and then I'll start on that B-boy. Sometimes if I'm really taking a leap of faith, I literally just duplicate the layer and paint over that. But I really like coloring, especially the more painterly the brush that I'm using, the more I enjoy painting on one layer. It feels a little bit more natural too, you know? What is this? I am gonna combine it with a B, yes. I just really enjoyed working on him so much. 3 hours is not a long time, y'all. It's alright, so now we got our basic boy here. Go back to the B. Visible this man. Let's see what we got. Just a little guy. So it's cool. I had not seen the knife mouth before on a B, the little proboscis. Oh yeah, what DPI? Let me check. I think I work at a pretty. I'm at 2048 by 2048 pixel wise, but how many? What's my shit? Hold on. Video. Sorry. Dimensions. There we go. Boop. 132. Apparently 132. Huh. I thought this was at 600 or 300 at least. That's funny. Well, now we know. I like lo-fi shit anyway, so whatever. All right, so what little features do you have, gentlemen? It's hard for me to see if this is a proboscis or it's like leg from the other angle, but I think it is. It's legitimately its mouth. I'm mistaken. Like it's a little slurperoonie. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I love lo-fi shit so much. All these are so fucking cute, dude. Look at this little man. Look at this champion. There we go. Got that kind of streak there. Alright, so I think the easiest way to do this at this point, I was intending to kinda do one and then the other and then kinda like find a midway point between them. But I think I'm gonna just add Bumblebee things, make them terrifying, call it a day. Let me finish coloring these before I forget. I'm gonna go for a nice kind of like rusty color for the meat hooks or whatever you want to call them. So this should be a nice progression from that sort of like purplish gray up to that rusty. Ah, cat food time. Hello, kitty cat. Yummy meat hooks. Yeah, shit gets rusty. All doors are locked. Hello, baby cat. Hello, Maeve. Hold on, I can't pick her up. She's gonna squiggle away. My cat's here, though. He wants some noms. Alright. Yeah, why don't, Maeve will enter the screen momentarily. The camera. You're such a precious little girl. Whoop, I'm on the line layer. Or am I in the front? Yeah. Yeah. Who's my baby Maeve? Here's a kitty. Da 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 da. Here's my baby cat. Who's your little baby cat? Here's a good kitty. Hello, Maeve. Say hi. Oh, hello. Thank you. Oh, you're such a good kitty. Little beans. Thank you. Thank you, Vanna White. Excellent! Oh, Vanna! A little bit smaller. Precious cat. Alright, I will use a little bit of different color on the back. Legs over here. Oh, can't sing too much. Want to get DMCA'd. Oop. I'm gonna add a little bit of deeper color of some kind to the underbelly of this little gentleman. See here. Yeah, I think I'll just go with this. Ends up a little bit extra blue hooky. Yeah, I don't mind the way that looks at all. I'll just add a little bit of different kind of purple or pink in there to sort of model it and make it a little less aggressively blue. Back. Just cat peeps right now. We used to be rat owners. Love pet rats. Shout out to any rat owners. But it was just a little bit too much rapid fire tragedy in a row, and we just couldn't do it anymore. Our last batch of pet rats was so wonderful, and they were so sweet, had such good personalities, just friendly, gregarious, quizzical, wonderful, and they all had their fair share of health complications right at the end, and it was just like it was just the final straw kind of. We were just like, we need to keep a different kind of animal, and the weird little guys that cats are very compatible with the energy that rats bring to the table, so it was kind of a natural. Rats are awesome. Yes, absolutely. Dogs are great, dude. So cute. Yeah, ferrets are amazing. Incredible incredible animals. Never had the pleasure of owning them myself, but they're great. Fan of them conceptually, as Moxie said, cat snake. Yeah, yeah, and I really like just like animals. I feel like if you're an animal, like a general animal person, like you just like a creature, we're probably gonna get along as a rule. I see people every once in a while. I met someone who's just like, I don't like animals. Like any of them? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? A little bit of orange stippling on here. Get a little bit of a kind of chunky, rusty look. Aging things and distressing them is so goddamn soothing. Adding moss to shit is one of my personal favorites. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Yeah, it's incredible. Like what the fuck, how are people even capable of doing shit like that? I don't understand it. I'm with you. Not exactly. Gosh. Add some of that. Go to situation going on here. It's a really good song, I agree. Go. Just a little guy. In spite of everything. Just a little guy. Kind of made peace with the fact that he's kind of cute. It's fine. Watchy. This reads as an enemy from like it's giving like an FPS from like PS2 era to me. It feels straight out of like one of those concept art books to me. I don't know about you guys. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of a sketch. In this last hour, I'm gonna tie in Bumblebee. Now, I had this idea a while back. Full disclosure, this is not the first time I'm doing it, but it has been a long time. So let's see what happens. Um, so you know the sort of veining structure in bumblebee wings, and for example, or any other insect kind of wing. I had this idea, like what if that framework was yet another level, another layer more vascular, and then you just left it without the sort of membrane, right? The sort of thing that makes it fly. Because what I'm things that I'm making are not are when I design monsters, it's kind of similar to like the Persona perspective, where it's like these things are almost like surreal or abstract beings in and of themselves. So like if magic is in play, right? Who gives a shit? if they'd actually be able to fly. Sometimes I do more grounded designs, but 9 times out of 10 I really like Arcane Bullshit. Great Instagram account, by the way, if you guys don't follow Arcane Bullshit. Fantastic. It's like a bunch of like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like fake um paraphernalia and like different like action figures and shit and like all just all sorts of different like products that fit the criteria Arcane Bullshit, found from all over the web and shit. Very funny. I think this line is actually too thick. I'm gonna shrink it. So let's start with kind of like a shoulder blade shape. This is gonna make it twice as cute, damn it. I just know it. It's fine though. I'm gonna have to do multiple wings to keep it from being just so cute. Here we go. Kind of doing like a shoulder blade-esque outcropping of bone stuff. All Arcane Bullshit's posts are homemade shit posts, sometimes clip art, sometimes drawn in the style of clip art. Yes. Thank you. I was hoping that you would save me and explain it properly. Thank you. Okay, some nice symmetry going on. I'm gonna add like a little sort of like opening right here. We already got a couple like little stitch things happening, right? Gross. Yes, yeah, this playlist was put together by the amazing Moxie Moth, my dear wife. Chilloween playlist, and it is so perfect for this vibe. Yeah, you do strike me as someone who has a very, very open mind musically, which I appreciate. I have many preferences. I listen to a lot. And I do draw the line at some points, but it is just like you seem to be. It is few and far between. So main structure on right here. This is pretty good. Okay, I'm excited about this. I think we're doing good. I don't want to just add wings and call it a day. Um, but prioritizing the tardigrade while adding bumblebee features, I think we're doing okay so far. I'm gonna figure out if I can interject that sort of mouth spike in here, and that'll be the 2 elements. There we go. Like it has kind of a little opening. Make that look kind of like a hypodermic needle. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. It's like because tardigrades kind of bumble around, even though they are kind of like generally in water. They are just kind of swimming, so it's like it's not the most, it's but it's still kind of like a bumbling situation, right? They're just kind of sauntering around, they're moseying, they're enjoying life, finding little tiny, teeny tiny, itty bitty plant things to munch on with their horrible little mouths. They're great. Um, but yeah, like anything that flies like that, especially bugs, like that particular way of flying, kind of that hunched posture, is just very threatening by nature. Yeah, man. I will say that I love beetles, whether or not they're flying, perhaps especially if they're flying, like rhinoceros beetles. I know my dear likes Goliath beetles. They're so good. Yeah, Hercules Beetles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So dope. Add a little thingamathing here. I'm gonna double the outlines, make a little thicker outlines right here, so that when I add color to the little proboscis, it will not fuck up the outlines that are already there. And we'll get rid of the stuff behind it. There we go, see? I could also make this kind of like a sort of visceral, like bright red. It'd be pretty gross. Try that. Like a, I'm leaving alpha lock on. I haven't for most of this. Yeah. So I think it is kind of a necessity to me that you make something like this, for example, look wet. You like the texture is so goddamn important, especially for horror, because for horror you need a certain amount of immersion for it to work, in my opinion. And that is so much easier to achieve the stronger your grasp on and conveyance of texture is. Whether or not this is absolutely like, whether or not this is like wet, it has sort of like that almost like bug like sheen to it, so it'll work either way, however you interpret it. Yeah, you should. That's the risk you run in, on Freaky Friday. I don't know if you saw the one we made last time. It really is something. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. Let's finish these wings up. I could definitely do that in 45 minutes. No problem. I could do that in less. Adding eyes is gonna be, I don't know about that. I'll do a little sketch, see how it looks. Yeah, I would do like multiple kind of like mutant eyes if anything, but I think it just runs the risk of looking too cute if I add anything. Yeah, just like kind of like that. Kind of monstrous, you know? I'm just trying to decide if it's like too easy. You know, mutant creature, multiple eyes, and kind of like a pile on its head is a pretty tried and true quantity, known and appreciated. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, you want eyes? What do you think? I don't think it needs that one. No. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll remove it. It is actually really cute. I'm getting it out of here. Get out of here, eyeballs. Yeah. Okay. Let's get some definition on these fuckers. I will make them at least as proportionate as the bee wings, which is very not. They're so cute. Okay. I'm gonna add, let me get rid of these little stock, at least the Mr. Tardigrade. There we go. So it looks like it's got kind of 3 main segments on the bottom. I'll work with that. Oh. If any of you end up drawing or creating anything in the middle of the stream, not already a member of the Discord, there's a section for your creation, and there's a section for made on stream. Either one, I strongly encourage you to post something there. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's the dishes that you just did. It's like, I did it, right? Made on stream? Hell yeah, go for it. But you're working and lurking, we're vibing, we're having a good time. I like to know. I might have to go another pass on these. Pissing me off. Exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna do that. Selector. Get these guys out of here, these jokers. Actually, let's zoom back out a little bit. Hey, yeah, there, little random stroke. Go. I'm trying to make sure they read as veins and not like bitchin' Guy Fieri flame decals you'd put on a fucking sports car or like a one of his polo shirts. You know what I mean? Yeah, the staves are amazing. Um, First song I heard by them, Moxie showed to me, it was called The Shining. It's an amazing, amazing song. Cool percussion. It's like the harmonies that you'd expect from them from this song. Oh man, really, really good. Hmm. Spread them out a little bit more. Come on, bro. I'd have to pivot. Put by the book. We'll add sort of like a skeletal into. It already kind of looks like tarsals, metatarsals. It's kind of a vibe. Get out of here, bad line. Bad. You should feel bad. Bone wings really wouldn't fly. There. Nice. You could stretch like a membrane over them, like a whale flipper or something to that effect. Not quite bat wings. And first, 'cause that's where the shape is gonna end. A little bit of like a little cluster of bone there, and there we go. Beautiful. Kind of yucky shit connecting them, sure. Monster design, baby. Ugh, gummy. Ugh. Go. Almost like it's encased in something. It's kind of cool. Do that 4 times. A little bit of a biomechanical down here. A little bit of grit, a little bit of detail there. The rest of the detail for here, a little bit of muscular. Okay. All right, this some tarsals, metatarsals. I need to get back to studying anatomy a little bit more rigorously. When I was in human bio, in high school, instead of doing work 9 times out of 10, I was just looking at the illustrations in the anatomy textbooks and drawing those. Upped my game significantly. I think if I did that more, it would be a good idea. A little bit of a finger. I think the shape on the end here is a little bit too fantasy. Less anatomy. That. Sure, go for it. Oh, hope you feel better. Good luck with your pain. Oh, a little bit more sort of. Yeah, that's I don't hate that. There we go. A little bit extra bony bone texture. Okay. So, funny thing, I've been trying to use Procreate Dreams for various things. Um, mainly because, oh, excuse me, goodness gracious, yawning so much. Um, it's the only way that I can do audio interfacing with animations. I've gotten pretty used to animating in Procreate Classic, and it's fine. But there is really no way to synchronize audio comfortably in regular Procreate while it's directly baked into Dreams, right? Um, but the bake itself on Procreate Dreams is a little bit under. There's a few things missing, including a selector tool, which if you are a digital artist, your jaw might drop in even hearing that. You might have already known this was a thing from the uh, outraged reviews on like the Apple Store, for example. Um, but yeah, a fundamental, perhaps one of the most basic necessities in digital art is absent. And also, if I was drawing at this distance, a perfectly reasonable distance to be drawing, and you zoom in on Procreate Dreams, it would look like so much worse than if you drew at this distance, for example. I'm at a really low resolution right now, so you might not be able to like tell too much of a difference, but like the fact that I have to pay attention to how zoomed in or zoomed out I am while making something like is so unbelievably frustrating. So I've been trying to figure out the best ways to sort of like work around Dreams and its particular idiosyncrasies. And I'm doing okay with it now, but like every once in a while I'm just like, oh, can't believe it. I can't believe that they let it see the light of day with this happening. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. It's like the main reason that people even get like enjoy digital art. You know what I mean? The fucking selector. It's like, oh, I made this too big, but at least I got the ability to just shrink it down. Nope. Guess again, motherfucker. Absolutely crazy. However, as I said, I'm kind of forced to use it because of the things that I what oh fuck that I want to animate. Jesus Christ. Need some kind of caffeine for my dependency. Cool. Orange juice has sugar in it, right? Some of that sucrose. Otherwise, I'm gonna be gross. It's not like 100% on the wings. Not 100%, but it's cool. We'll see. We'll see the full effect once I get the other wings in there. I think I'm gonna remove some of these little connective thingies. I think maybe I'll do like one more right here. Alright. Oh shit, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh no, it's like right there, but it's not actually. Oh god. Oh boy. It's like the phantom sneeze when it like builds up, and it's like, I'll see you in a second. You won't know when. God. Not safe. Let's try that. I have one more addition in mind for this little gentleman. I like using groups to organize. I actually am not sure if bumblebees have stingers, do they? I don't remember. Right. No idea if they have one or not. Well, they do now, I tell you that much. I thought I heard Burn the Witch starting. Good song. Hear it. Joshua Hami's on his way. Kick my ass, dude. There we go. I fight. I'm. I was thinking that maybe that almost like the hand-esque or foot bone-esque structure. The way that I did it this time around almost looks like a whisk. You know what I mean, or something that was like in that shape that I almost like a rounded three-dimensional shape as opposed to sort of the flat plane that it would be for like a bee wing. And at first I didn't like it, but now I almost don't care. It kind of looks cool. Like I'm kind of here for it, you know what I mean? He mix. It's like, and then you like flip it upside down. You're like, make my whipped cream, idiot. Oh, thank God. I don't have to go get my hand mixer. Go a little bit of crunchy little bone, guys, for y'all. He mix. Hoofenkate mix, mix, mix. Throwback right there. Burr, burr, burr. Okay. Yeah, something about, it's like however ridiculous the dance is, if you have a backup, enough backup dancers behind you doing the same thing, it kind of equalizes and it's like fine. It's like however I felt about the wing before when there was just like one or two. Now that there's all of them, it somehow repetition legitimizes, you know what I mean? So that's something. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm here for it. Might I decide if I want the same sort of connective to work on that stinger real quick, whatever you want to call it. Add a little split right here. Let's see, what would be a good let's do I don't need to share this one with the chat the same way I did the other references. I'm gonna look up a slaughterhouse spike because I want to see it, but because that's the mechanism that I want. The spike diagram. Hopefully, if I say diagram, then I won't see any like actual images or footage because I don't want to. It's kind of a delicate balancing act to being kind of squeamish and also looking at like wanting to do macabre or like fucked up horror shit. Anyway, see here. Oh, it's called a captive bolt. Good to know. There's something new every day. Captive bolt. Very morbid. Yep. That is the thing that we're doing. So I'm basically going to add a hydraulic, not hydraulic, I guess pneumatic bolt driving thing. I figure since we're doing meat hooks, it kind of makes sense that the stinger would be um like the spike that they use in slaughterhouses just to really drive home how fucked up this thing is. Go. Don't fear the Reaper, baby. go. I end up when I'm drawing something from reference as opposed to when I'm drawing something from like just imagining it, I end up with a lot like usually a different line weight. Is the cat being silly over there? Of my cat. Try that again. I should be able to get that done within 10 minutes or so. Yeah. Make this real quick. Those of you who missed it, probably better off. No, it's I'm basing this on a captive bolt, which is that spike that you use, that one uses in a slaughterhouse. I did not know what it was called. I feel like my life's quality has been depreciated slightly with that knowledge. Just, you know, a little innocence dying a little bit more. It's fine. But, makes sense to me. If we're doing the meat hooks and shit like that, it kind of makes sense, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, she does that to me too. I don't understand what she does when she uses my hand. She usually likes to put both of her feet, her little cat feet, on my hand, and then she just starts scooting. I don't know if she thinks she's flying or what, but it's very cute. Good old Maeve. Here we go. Nice kind of chrome business happening here. After I do this, I start the rendering. This thing definitely escalated in terms of nightmare fuel as soon as it got wings. I'm with you, chat. Go. Like it needs a little something here. I want to go to my. Okay, let's see if there's a detail that we can add from the bee. There's a bee that I can kind of riff off of here. Hey, come back. That song's so fucking good. I know. I wish it did pick up her little. He's a charmer. Little baby. Go. We'll just add sort of like sort of pulling there. A horrific thing. This is Alright, let's get some... I know how to color this because it's just an extension of its body, so I'll start with that. I wish y'all could hear my cat right now. She's popping off. It's so funny. Wrap this up. Go raid Alicorn Pig. Is in the chat and proper channel Skinny Pig Games. Not feeling great right now, so I think she a little bit of the from having us there. Yeah, I think it is just you two. Well, it'd be a nice effective raid, you know. Ah, that's cool. A little bit of, you know, couple skate, right? Oh, Maeve. Put upon little beastie. Oh. A little bit of that. It's just that was actually the red. All right, all right. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, what's up? Yeah, coming together. This little freak of nature. Gonna wrap this up in the next 8 minutes or so, and then we're gonna go raid Guinea Pig Games. That's Alicorn Piggy, who was just in chat. Her channel that she runs with her wife. She's feeling a little under the weather, so we're definitely gonna go and add our support if you wanna stick around. We'd love to have you. So I based this awful thing that I added to its backside on a captive bolt, which is apparently the name for the device that they use at a slaughterhouse to extinguish the life of our man. Morbid stuff here. Gross, awful stuff. Diminish your innocence. Black food. Freaky Fridays. Every Friday. 6 to 9. Anyway. We'll do like an actual almost black on this. Not actually black. I'm gonna be doing, I was thinking about doing some actual full black shading a little bit at the end there. What's that doing? I should probably detail that some more if I'm gonna leave that like that. Let's go. Ooh. Yeah, this guy right. I'll probably add that'll be where I add a lot of all black shading backside and on the underside of this thing to really convey that size and depth of it all. Some red highlights. Gonna make it pop from a distance. Disgusting, isn't it? There's a lot of things that I learned about color from Studio Ghibli films. Specifically, in this case. I know, right? Same. No, but the usage of one of the things that I've found out through my particular brand of fucking around with colors and stuff is one of the most important parts of a piece is, in terms of color, is the top and the bottom, those are your anchors, those are your lifelines, you know, for how everything else behaves visually, right? You control just based via contrast and everything, you control focal points and where the audience's eyes are led based on the brightest and darkest point. And one really strong way to illustrate something like gold is to have the, you know, it's really tempting to add little white shines to everything, right? But if you make the brightest point of a piece of gold a type of yellow, like it ends up like popping so much harder and reading so much harder as like this is gold, right? Just like if you make the brightest point on blood or something like it, you know, like if you think about Haku's blood in Spirited Away, it was kind of like, not exactly, these are my colors, not theirs, but like it was like, you know, like kind of it was like really dark red, and then there was like some super bright red to kind of make it pop, that kind of thing. See what I mean? It's fun stuff. Like if you use white shading, you can maybe add a little bit of dollop of white on top of that, but it also works really well if you stop just at the bright red. Super strong effect. Usually, Zipper Pines. Yeah, thanks for the compliment on my nice voice crack. I have not been drinking the tea because it doesn't have any sugar in it, and I am a stupid hummingbird bitch who's completely at the mercy of my own childish tastes and preferences. I love sweet shit. Can't help it. What can I do for this? Make it read specifically as gray metal. Usually when I have the option to make something steel or like a silver metal, I add a bunch of colors and shit to it to make it nice and pretty and reflective. But this is like, this is an austere piece of unfeeling metal. Nothing colorful about that. There we go. Dance around the different grays in these various color palettes. I'm gonna add some deep darker gray shading here. A little bit smaller. Looks alright, and then I'll add some brighter whites up top. That'll read a bit harder as like a titanium or like a steel. All right. And the white. Make that even thinner. Like a big old dick if I'm not careful with the shading, and that is not is not the intention. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Put a little bit more of the lighter gray underneath here so that it adds that sort of reflective, almost metal, that more metal consistency. A little bit of highlight makes it pop a little bit more. Looks pretty good. And I'll just reference that same sort of rusty color scheme just a little bit on the rest of this apparatus. Good. Leave that there. Finish these wings. Let it make. Probably the best bet would be to tie in the wings with some other aspect that I developed. So either we'll do the same sort of rusty color, the rusty iron coloring that we did for the hooks, or the red and the rest of the little exposed parts of its little body. Have I succeeded in making it not cute, by the way? Anybody who's still here? Or is it still just too friend-shaped? Cool. Awesome. Freaky Friday succeeds. I forgot this was on another layer for a second. I was like, I don't want to erase this. Oh, I did. Did want to erase. My gut's telling me to do, I'm gonna do the rust color, so maybe with the red between it, sort of like really tie in both aspects of design. Yeah, let's try that. That sounds good. Maybe I'll do like sort of raspberry looking base, and then I'll make the membrane between them sort of bright red webbing. I could do just like straight up bone color, but I don't think it would hit the same exactly. Almost pretty now. Little pigtails. Here. Add some detail here. So hopefully also counterbalance the sort of thing I was concerned about them reading as, you know, well, maybe not. Maybe I just completely defeated the purpose of trying to make them look flatter. Maybe they look even rounder than before. Maybe I don't care. Kind of interesting design choice. I think the shape is just too basket-esque, if you know, like. Go. Pretty cool looking. Tell you the palette. I love this fucking palette, dude. I worked, I worked so fucking hard on it, and so like the fact that it works sometimes, most of the time, like makes me really happy. A little bit more red in here. $5 minutes over. That's cool. All right, I'll be I'll wrap it up. Might as well finish it, yeah. Just about done. Accidentally put a mark? No, I didn't. Good. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Take it easy, get some sleep. I'm about to head out too. Thank you so much for attending, man. Take this back. See you around. It definitely adds a little bit of an element of fantasy, which I'm not sure how I feel about, but I don't hate it. So I guess that's a good thing. As soon as I move this last little sort of overage on the lines, I think it'll be done. I can't forget the little gapping. There we go. That adds a little bit of synchronicity. Design, I think. All right. I decide if I should add a little bit of the little rust splotches to the outside of that for consistency. Yeah, I like that. I think it ties it into the rest of it a little bit better than if it was just like clean, whatever this is. Meaty iron? I don't know. Now just delete the little, call it peeling off the resist. Even though I got it because it makes me feel better. It definitely feels like an RPG enemy, something that like would see quote unquote in real life, but it like more than like a grounded horror thing. But I don't mind that. I think it's fun to see it in like something like not quite Dead Space, but kind of a similar energy. I think that's an interesting example of like fully devoted like Western body horror. I like that. Never played one myself, but I've seen my friends play it. Maybe someday I'll play it. Here we have it. Tardigrade and a Bumblebee, two of the cutest little multi-legged creatures in the world, completely and utterly ruined for all time by yours truly. Not that many of you left in chat, but those of you who have been in here, you're wonderful. You're great. Any VOD watchers who stuck through this time, what are you still doing here? But I appreciate you. I will be around. I'll be doing this next week. Be doing other shit all the time. Be quiet, Belle Biv DeVoe. Didn't even know that was the name of this band. Anyway, there it is in all its unglory. Where did that mark come from? Hold up. Okay. Great. Might as well remove it. This is Yuckiest Boy of the Century. And I really enjoyed making him on stream with y'all. Swinging by. And thanks for vibing with me. I will be on next week at Monday for Music Monday from 12 to 5. And I'm greatly looking forward to it. I'm going to resume work on my single. In the meantime, I will see you in Discord. It's pinned by Moxie Moth there. Everybody else, you have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. We're going to go pop in on Alicorn Piggy and Skinny Pig Games to find a good face to land on. See if I can remember how to raid people. Single time I forget.